The world has become a melting pot. There's no longer any meaning to the term online anymore. In Utah, there's an institute called English Language Institute, where various people from different countries come and learn English. This institute has been encouraging people to learn English since 1990.
ELI started in 1990, and we had a very small group of students at that time. There were maybe 5 people that were doing everything at ELI. And we had like I said, a small group of students at that time. And then the group of students has grown and grown and grown over the years. And so now we have 8 full-time teachers and about 20 part-time teachers. And we offer over 50 classes per session. Yeah, so a student who's taking our class full-time, they'll take 4 classes a day. They take a class in grammar, a class in writing, reading, and then listening speaking.
ELI's curriculum has proved by the Commission on English Language Program accreditations. In addition, they have provided not only structured class, but also various kinds of classes where students are involved in interacting classes and field trips to places where they can practice their English.
I'm originally doing mostly as a class called English Through Drama, because my background is in drama, so I was using drama techniques to help students gain confidence in speaking English. One thing I feel is that when you're speaking a foreign language, you're using someone else's words to express your feelings. So it's the same way that an actor has to use something that was written in a script by a writer, and they have to project their own feelings into those words. So I think that the same technique is happening when students are using a foreign language. So I try to get them to think how to express themselves, how to express feelings through the foreign language so that they can sound more natural and that they can be more meaningful to native speakers when they speak.
I think it's really good for his class to learning speaking skill. We're also learning that American slang because we don't really use when we are speaking to like American.
They try to students take part in the various activities, and there are many funny activities like go around the campus of university, and we have many chance to talk native speakers in the students of U of U.
I used to go to the jail, and we would see prisoners. So what kinds of questions would you have about the prisoners? So what did the prisoners do? How long are they here for? Do the jailers like their jobs? How long have they been doing their jobs? Things like that. And so then they can ask questions of the people that are giving the tour. And then the next day after we come back, I give them a quiz about what they've learned. So it kind of reinforces, the language and what they're learning. I think it's really good. That's the way I learned other languages, by getting outside and actually using language and listening to different people. And students really like it, and most of the time they think that it really helps them.
So I think it's good when you go to the field trip because you're learning speaking and listening at the same time.
Here is a more dynamic and they have more activity in the US. So in Korea, in the class, we don't have any conversation, just teachers teach, and we just got their teaching. But in here, we can talk about something. We can conversation and we can communicate.
I think what we focus on in the classroom is participation, communicating, talking a lot, asking questions, even questioning the teacher. It's okay to do that here.
Teacher like students to ask questions. All like professor and teachers, they just like student ask question because they think it's good. It's good to have a question here. Teachers put a great effort to make class as comfortable as possible, and we can share funny moments together as a class.
If Japanese say, I like to eat rice, maybe most Americans laughing. L and R, so it's same for Japanese, L and R, and S and TH.
The funniest one that I heard of, and it didn't happen to me, but it happened to another teacher. It was a Korean student, and they have a PF problem. So they mix up P and F, and also S and Sh, S and SH, okay? So the student was giving a speech about their small town in Korea and what they do. And he said that a special day every year, the men go to the river and they piss in the river. And they keep pissing all day, and they collect all the piss in a big bucket, and they bring the piss back to her. She's like, what? The teacher was so embarrassed, like, what are they doing? Then she realized they meant fish. They go fishing every day, and they bring the fish back.
Koreans sometimes have trouble with P and F, or L and R, right? Spanish people have trouble with V and B. Arabic people have trouble with P and B. So they say people instead of people.
Teachers have made lots of effort to help students overcoming that kind of problems.
Again, based on their native language background, it's often different what they have to struggle with. So, for example, some students from Asia are very good at writing and doing grammar tests, but they have a hard time speaking. We have students from the Middle East who can speak very easily, but they have a really hard time writing. Because it's not a common part of their educational background.
The teachers are so kind, and they could help me many ways.
Just this last weekend, I had the students call in. I've set up an account with Google Voice so that they can call in and they hear a question. And it's not a multiple choice. It's a little bit more difficult, but they have to answer immediately. So I have them give their responses and practice at home on their own so they can feel comfortable. And then they get review and practice doing that.
A lot of our students are focused on being correct and doing everything correctly, but that's not the way Americans really speak. And so if you want to get more fluent, you have to kind of forget being accurate and just focus on being expressive and trying to get your message across. So I try to tell students sometimes to turn off their grammar machine because they have this kind of internal grammar machine that's telling them, oh wait, be careful, don't make a mistake. And it stops them from communicating. And so I try to get them to relax and think it's okay if you make a mistake, but try to be as expressive and just focus on communicating your meaning first.
They always say that most of the studies say that reading is the best way to learn a language. That the more you read, the more you see the grammar, you learn vocabulary, you see how it's used, how the language is put together. It doesn't help you with pronunciation, of course, but if you read a lot, those are the students that really improve quickly in the language.
One thing I find that I'm focused on is the student's ability to kind of pick up on the natural rhythm or the way that English is spoken. So because there's kind of a music to English that's different than their native language, and if they can pick up on that, they can start sounding more natural when they speak English.
Many students have come here not only for learning English, but for achieving their own goals.
Close future, my goal is improve my English skills in the US. In Korea, almost job is required to English skills. I want to make a kind of career in US.
My goal is promoting my position in my company, passing my IELTS test, like TOEIC and speaking test in my company. After that, I hope to use English for my work.
I think just the process of learning language helps you with your mental abilities.
It's an international, it sounds very, ethnocentric to say because it's so important to do that. But it's an international language. It's a language that many other cultures and countries use to communicate with people who don't speak their own language.
I often tell the students that, coming here is like opening a door to another world and then experiencing many new things. And that English is a key to help you open many doors in the world. So a lot of students tell me one reason they want to learn English is so they can travel to Europe or other countries and use English as a way to communicate with other people. And also they can use English in their own country. If they see a foreigner, maybe they can communicate with them in English. So it's a key to opening lots of doors and opportunities. for people.
We want the students to not just do well at ELI, but we want to give them the skills and the goals to be able to go beyond. So if they succeed, then we succeed.
English is so widely spoken, so it has often been referred to as a world language. While it's not an official language in most countries, it's currently the language most often taught as a foreign language. About 375 million people speak English as first language. Also, estimates that include second language speakers vary greatly from 470 million to over 1 billion. Therefore, the importance of learning English cannot be overstated in an increasingly interconnected and globalized world.